Hello, and welcome into this week's Scrim School ScrimCast. I am your host, Bobby Sox. If you are new here, the way this works out is we spend the first hour talking with the guest of the week. It's good to see that that is already broken. There we go, we fixed it. Basically, we talk with the guest of the week, and then the second half, we run practical scrims with the guests. Gives you a chance to play with them, gives you a chance to chat, learn from them, pick their brains, all that fun stuff. Our guests this week are GothGfGirlGamer. Super long name for a super crack dude. And then Miss. Misleading. It is going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a blast. Let's unmute and undeafen, and we'll get to meet the guest of the week. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
All right, so the way we start this off is you both introduce yourselves, say who you are, what your fancy is, what got you to Destiny, things like that, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritties. Got it?
Cool beans.
Let's do Miss. Why don't you go first?
So explain like what I do in the Destiny community and what got me into Destiny, right?
Yeah, who you are, like,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm Miss. I do kind of informational videos. I used to stream PvP, but not so much for a lot of reasons. And I originally got into Destiny because I thought it'd be like Halo.
Ain't that true? Yeah, I feel that. All right, Goth, what you got for me?
Hi, I'm Goth. I'm a Titan main, chaperone, crutching connoisseur, peacekeeper's connoisseur. I do PvP helpies. What got me into Destiny was Shadowkeep looked cool, and I liked the moon, and so now here we are.
And so now here we are.
Yeah.
I feel that. I like that. I like the moon.
Yeah, pretty much like the game just looked really cool and interesting, and I don't know. I never thought in a million years it would, 4,000 hours later we'd be right here, but here we are.
Expect it. It's brought a lot of people together, so I can't complain too much about that. All right, so I mean, we got our intros out of the way. Let's dive straight into it. Let's dive into Season of the Plunder. How you feeling about it?
Me personally, I think the pirate thing is cool. I mean, the PvE activity, I mean, it's okay. As far as what they've done to PvP, I mean, we all have our opinions on that. But like, as far as the PvE side of the game goes, like, I think King's Fall is really cool. I've never really enjoyed raiding personally, but King's Fall has been a lot of fun to do. But as far as PvP content goes, it's definitely lacking. But I mean, it's a atypical Destiny season at this point.
Right. I feel that. Miss,
I
what
would
do you got?
definitely agree. I feel like it's pretty underwhelming, especially on the PvP aspect. I feel like even a lot of the weapons aren't really that great, and it's still kind of sticking with the old stuff. And as far as PvE, I don't really even follow the stories like that. And I did King's Fall a lot in Destiny 1, so I'm not really too happy to do it another 50 times.
I feel that. I do. Yeah, I mean, the PvP is a little tough right now, for sure. I absolutely agree. I mean, we've kind of seen these in trends, though, right? Not as long of a drought as it is now, but, I mean, usually if there's a light season, we see something heavier after that. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. This is like, so coming from the perspective of jumping in right at Shadowkeep, this being my Destiny, like, from Shadowkeep to now being the only real Destiny experience, it feels like every season is just another, okay, so maybe next season will be better. And I don't know if it ever does get better or if it's just always like this.
Gotcha.
But we've been lacking like any sort of like actual PvP content or incentive for a very, very long time. I don't know. It's just a lot, man. It's just been abandoned for a long time.
So let me add on to that real quick, Miss. Then, what What would you do to change?
What would I do to change?
Yeah, let's make it a what would you do to improve, you know?
The whole game or just PvP? Because I
Uh
don't really do the PvE stuff. I just
I
do it
mean,
once and then I'm good.
yeah, I mean the PV we'll do just PvP because this is a PvP podcast, so
Okay, for me personally, I would like kind of like a ranking system that's or a ranked mode that's more like other games, kind of like Apex has, like Valorant has, where you can actually show stuff off. Like you get stuff, you get player cards, you get trails, all for having a really high rank, and there's leaderboards. Right now, if you go into survival, there's almost no reason unless somehow you've never done the Unbroken Seal, which even then, that's kind of underwhelming to do the sixth, seventh time.
yeah.
So I would definitely add a good ranked mode, rankings, ranked rewards, even if it's just a shader or an emblem. I feel like that's a lot for people.
Sure. I absolutely agree. I'm a big proponent of cosmetics. Goth, anything to add to it?
Oh, they just need some sort of a loot incentive. So like they're trying to incentivize casual play. Uh, with the direction that they're going, I think that they need to give a really like a loot incentive for casuals to stay in the playlist. Because gyms will get stomped all day long as they're getting rewarded for their time. I would know because I used to be a gym and I would get stomped all day long for recluse. Like, you know, that's just the way it was. So they definitely need to incentivize players to play the playlist.
I do. I was one of those gyms too back in the day. I started out as a 0.6 back in I think Shadowkeep is when I started. And I literally ground the shit out of it forever until I managed to get Recluse, I managed to get Luna's, and then finally get Not Forgotten. Um, it was rough. It was a lot.
Yeah, most definitely. But the quest, the journey to get Lunas and NF, like that right there is what hooked me into this game's PvP because I saw what the top of the skill bracket looked like, and I wanted to figure out what I could do to get there. So that's what sucked me into this game's PvP.
Got it.
But it's severely lacking that now. Like there's no reason to do PvP at all for a new player, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do.
I would also agree.
So I know we're going to be thinking a ways back here. When you were just starting out in PvP and you weren't playing that well and you had that drive to get better, is there anything that stuck with you from back then that you still employ today? Movement, aiming, centering, things like that? Anything at all that's you had your aha moment to?
The biggest piece of advice I could give anyone that wants to improve is when you stop blaming the gun and the exotic for why you died and you start blaming or looking and observing what you did wrong to die to it. I think that in itself will raise your KD by at least half of whatever it is right now because you'll be thinking about what you're doing wrong and trying to improve from there.
Nope, just lag.
Yep, just lag.
It's just lag. Miss, what do you got to add? Did you have an aha moment when you were starting to play?
As far as Destiny 2, more so than Destiny 1, when a lot of my friends wanted to get better at PvP, they never really cared about having a decent build. They just, ran whatever, no mods, nothing, didn't even care what gun they had, even if it's the same gun with a bad roll. I would just say pay attention to stuff like that, your armor stats, your weapon rolls, because it makes a whole lot of a difference when you're actually using good stuff.
Yeah, you have to build into PvP like you're building into going into a raid, and I notice a lot of PvE players don't apply the same amount of build crafting thought to their PvP loadouts.
100%. Yep. I feel like a lot of the times when I would help people with trials and stuff, they would just have all their PvE mods still on, unstoppable pulse rifle into trials, all that stuff. I would try to help them the best I can.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's a tough one. I mean, Destiny's such a wide game, right? That you could run. There's so many different loadouts that you could build, but it still has a requirement to build said loadouts. You can't go in with a night watch and an auto rifle and hope to do well in higher brackets. And that is a perfect tangent to roll into metas. How are we feeling about the meta this season?
Not
I
feeling
mean,
it.
yeah, I mean, it's still really passive. Yeah, it's still really passive, and like Arc is okay, but it's underwhelming still compared to Void. And I think people are going to still like start to figure that out and gradually switch back over to Void again as the season goes on.
You think so?
Yeah, oh yeah, especially for hunters and especially in like end game trials. Yeah, most definitely. Omnioculus with Grey Falcon is going to be the meta loadout for sure, like team composition wise.
Isn't Grey Falcon
I
blocked
don't
right
know
now?
if they've nerfed it or touched it, but
No, I think it's locked out.
Yeah, it's disabled right now. My big thing is like when they know how bad the meta was. I know they nerfed Omnioculus and it's still really good. Why add another exotic that gives a big buff for going invisible? That's
pretty
just
sure
stuff like
they did.
that just
Yeah,
confuses me sometimes.
I agree.
They did the same thing with the stasis nades. For hunters, they gave them the renewal grass for the little stint of the season. Like right after we were all complaining about how annoying stasis was. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, stasis was. You know what? Stasis in itself. I mean, everyone complained about it, but I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Classy was worse for me than stasis was.
Oh yeah, for sure. At least for me
100%.
as well.
Classy's was so much worse than stasis.
I mean, I feel like it's because
Go ahead.
I feel like it's because you literally have everything. Like last season when it was solar, you literally had everything. Hunters could run literally healing grenade, worm husk, and classy, and it's hard to die. You would actually have to try. And then Titans had lorely, classy, and a healing grenade as well, and it's almost like no.
And then Radiant on class ability too.
Yeah, and then Radiant too.
You literally have everything. You have to kill a Guardian 10 times, and you also have a free stack of Rampage, and like it's just there's a lot.
Yep.
And
I'm not.
it's still,
I'm so glad it's
still
gone.
just annoying. Oh, the healing needs and stuff. I saw a little bit of that in trials, and it's still annoying having to kill someone twice. But I don't know. I don't know, man. PvP is still just PvP so far as this season's meta is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be that way. So we kind of have to figure out, ways to change internally or ways to beat it and things like that. Every sandbox change, we have to come up with new solutions, right?
Yeah.
I honestly, though, and this might be kind of a hot take here, I honestly think the balance this season with subclasses and everything and the weapons themselves, I think this is pretty soft, honestly. Like Arc
Yeah.
didn't come out horrendous with, I was really concerned they were going to come out with Arc Battery and like that was going to be our seasonal mod, and then like what was the other one? There was a Titan one. What is it? Thunderquill?
Mm-hmm. Typically, trials will bring out like whatever the outliers are of the sandbox, and since trials is so late into the season, and with like control, like not many people wanting to engage with control as much, I think we haven't really seen what the busted possibilities of the current sandbox just yet. It might be too soon to tell what the outliers are.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping
Typically
that it
trials
stays,
highlights it.
Right. I'm hoping that it stays like this. And that is a great tangent to roll into. Trials. First trials of the season. How do we feel about it?
I had a fucking blast, but I know that a lot of people also didn't enjoy it. I know that the map has a lot of issues. It's really passive, but I don't know. I just tried to play it as aggressively as I could, and that in itself was a fun challenge. But I know that a lot of people didn't have a great time in general.
I don't know. I had a great time. What were you running?
Myself, I was just running chaperone in a funnel web like a psycho, and just beelining straight at people. Yeah.
Miss, how'd you feel about trials?
Definitely interesting not making the Adept one of the newer weapons. I guess that's probably to keep the population healthy over a long period of time rather than the first weekend. But I'm also happy it wasn't Disjunction or Cathedral of Dusk. It was a good time. Can't really complain. I mean, it's standard. I'm not really expecting any huge changes to come to Trials anytime soon, so kind of just used to it. Say it's, average.
Yeah, this is like a normal trials weekend.
I'm surprised. I looked at the numbers. I mean,
I was surprised they were as high as they were, to be honest.
yeah, absolutely. I really was. I mean, overall, it was I think it was 365,000 players.
Yeah, I did notice a lot of new light Nathans for sure.
That's surprising. It really is, honestly. For a old map, old loot.
Well, you'd be surprised with the power of the Fortnite crossover can do to the player base, especially with regards to any sort of PvP activity.
True.
That crossover did bring in a lot of PvP eyes to Destiny. And
So do you
I
think
wish
some
we
were from
had
Epic?
more substantial. I wish we had more like substantial PvP offerings to show off to people. It's unfortunate that this is all we got. But yeah, for sure. I think a lot of it came from like the Epic crossover for sure. We have a lot of new lights because of that.
Yeah, I
Most
definitely
definitely.
feel like I've seen a lot more people and a lot of people asking me about pretty early game stuff. So there's definitely a lot of new players currently.
I think it's good. If so, if you we'll play it out on the stream, right? If you're streaming, you have someone that came in that joined from the Epic Games Store, and they ask you what to do to keep them, what they should do to keep busy. What are you going to tell them?
Oh, I mean, they've got a lot of content to catch up on, right? And it's good to be a new Destiny player because you have so much stuff to do and catch up on as far as PvE is concerned. But if someone comes in and asks about like PvP, uh, I don't know. That's you
The-
just I guess have to really want to do it on your own in order to like, I don't know, put in that kind of time for it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It does. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything I would. I mean, other than trials on the weekends, if you're a new light, is
Exactly.
exciting.
Like it's hard to tell someone, I guess, to invest the kind of time it would take to like get good in PvP when there's not really any kind of incentive other than just, I guess, the personal accomplishment of it because the game doesn't really incentivize you.
Are there any
Really?
Are there any PvP specific drops right now that are worth going for?
The Crucible SMG is pretty good as far as PvP is concerned. The slug is it's a decent slug. That's about it.
If someone asked me if there's anything worth it in PvP right now, I would simply say no, because there's decent stuff, but nothing they've added this season is the highest possible tier. Like the slug, it's not better than Chaperone. It's not better than other slugs we already have. The bow, I mean, it's nothing special. I know people overhyped Kill Clip, but you need like 3 buffs to one shot. I wouldn't say there's anything really desirable to go for right now, especially in PvP.
Yeah, it's you already have basically like a better version of whatever they added this season.
So we're gonna spin it a little bit. If Bungie came out tomorrow and said, "Hey, we're adding pinnacle weapons back," is that a good thing or a bad thing? And why?
It depends on how well. Man, they're getting really close to power creeping, and I'm surprised. Oh man, I don't know, dude. It's you have to really think about it because we already had the whole sunsetting issue because of Revoker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they could make a pinnacle weapon feel pinnacle now. Now that we know that there's no D3 and that this is what they want to kind of continue, I don't know how they could really make something truly feel pinnacle like that.
Yeah, I would say it's a bad thing because last time it just didn't work out. And I feel like honestly last time all the weapons weren't super OP. I feel like there was 1 or 2 that kind of ruined it for the rest of the pinnacle weapons, to be honest.
Mhm.
But I feel like adding them right now, it just I don't know, it's a bad look because you add a bunch of them over a year or two and then get rid of all of them, and then you're just gonna try and add them back in again. Like even if they're new ones, it would just be weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me personally,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, me personally, I feel like they should really focus on like the highest end content, like master raids and trials should really be cosmetic based. You know, even if it's ornaments, emblems, like I said earlier, I feel like that's more rewarding. Just show off something rather than have a weapon that's really OP for a month or two until they nerf it.
Yeah, agreed.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. So it's been kind of a hot topic about trials, right? Especially after this weekend. And the idea of flawless and flawless pool. We know the flawless pool isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay. What would, if you guys could walk into Bungie tomorrow, what would you recommend to them to say boost the population overall? Like if you could pick one thing to be like, hey, this is what you guys need to add or change.
For trials
Yeah.
or the whole game?
Well, trials. The whole game, I don't think you can nail down to one.
I mean, I feel like I've been saying the same thing, but I would say literally more cosmetics. Like if you do an emblem that you only get, like I know new lights and like players who don't play that much would say it's kind of ridiculous, but like if you add stuff that's like not RNG and it's just a grind, like maybe an emblem for the first 100 flawlesses of every season, or maybe 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Like something that's a little bit of a grind to get to, and maybe not everyone's gonna get, but that's okay. Something like that. It doesn't have to be what I said, but you know what I'm saying? Like something that not everyone's gonna get because it's gonna take time, but there's some things that not everyone should get.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because there's like nothing special about trials right now other than the. Yeah, no, yeah. As like a hardcore player myself, I don't really care about the golden chest at all. Like, there's no reason for me to go. I don't care. So he's right in that sense. The loot doesn't feel aspirational at all.
So here's my suggestion that I've been throwing around for a long time, right? And you guys can then tell me if I'm right, wrong, what have you, or build on it. I would put weapons in the win loot pool. The adept weapons in the loot pool itself. You get 7 wins, you get an adept weapon. The gold chest would give you special cosmetics.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, you know, special armor sets, special shaders, like things that don't break the game, but still give you like an exciting thing. And then on top of that, if you go flawless in the flawless pool, I would give like a special emblem design or like a specialty glow, right? That's above and beyond the normal going flawless.
Okay. That's a possible like potential thing that could work. The solution that I would give Bungie would be to increase reputation gains so that casual players actually are rewarded for their time in the in trials getting stomped. So they're at least working towards something. I think they should have a random adept, whether it's in the pool or not in the pool, at the end of your rank up. So you constantly are respecting everyone's time investment. Instead of just handing out making flawless an easier thing to achieve, which disrespects a PvP mains time investment. It's important to respect everyone's time investment and keep the flawless feeling special, because it doesn't feel special at all. Because like it's so easily obtainable now. Even the seal and the title like is extremely easily obtainable. So like for a casual player. So yeah, that'd be my solution.
Yeah. I mean, Miss, you got anything to add?
I would say I agree with most of what you said about giving out the adepts. I feel like adepts, honestly, anyone should be able to get them because they're really not that special. I mean, like, they're pretty cool, but I mean, now that we have crafted weapons just go above and beyond adepts, unless you're talking about, like, very niche stuff like fusions, since it's the only way you can get adept charge time. But yeah, I definitely think there should be better stuff, like emblems and special stuff for the chest, and adepts should just be out there in the loot pool.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think that would be the best way, honestly, to boost replayability in all.
Exactly, but if we were to implement the system that I suggest, you would have to remove the flawless pool, because that way it keeps the flawlesses feeling special while also respecting casual players' time investment. If they can't get there, they're still earning really good loot from rank ups and so forth.
Hard part with the flawless pool, right, is I don't know if you remember back when it was first released, the first weekend it came out. There was a Bungie
Yeah.
dev that posted on Twitter, "I finally went flawless thanks to the flawless pool." And I'm not going to bring up their Twitter handle, and we're not going to witch hunt because that was so long ago. But
Mhm.
I saw it and I commented on it, and I was like, "Yo, that's awesome! Like, congratulations!" I was like, "Are you going to play in the flawless pool now?" And they go, "No, I have Nightfalls and a raid to do." And that kind of hit me in a weird way. I was like, "What? Where's the replayability on that?"
Exactly. And to be honest with you, a large majority of the community doesn't even know that it exists. The amount of people that I've taken to their first one where they don't even know what a flawless pool is, the only people that know about it are like, I'd say like the top, if we want to be generous, 30% of the community that actually reads TWABs and keeps up to date like that.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Even a lot of people I've helped in trials don't even know that during flawless pool you can keep playing like for more depths on a flawless card. I feel like every time I help someone go flawless, I tell them that like they can continue playing after Sunday and have a chance at a depths on their full card, and they literally have no idea.
How did they fix that though? Is my question. Like,
By clearly communicating it to the player and like the game, which has been
Yeah,
a struggle of theirs since D1 with the lore.
yeah,
You know.
it looks like they're adding a lot more like with Lightfall. I know we kind of do this every year where it's like, oh, maybe with the next DLC or maybe with that. But it does look like with Lightfall they're adding a lot of features to the actual game that are going to help people more, like the LFG in-game, the player reputation system. I feel like stuff like that's going to help, but they're still, pretty far to go.
I mean, that's a good topic here, actually. We can look forward to Lightfall and kind of go over it. What are your hopes for the LFG and the ranking system and stuff like that?
Me personally, I hope there's like, it's pretty well set up. It's not going to be people spamming, message here for a recov, send me $20 here, whatever. And I'm hoping for the player reputation system, I'm hoping LFG and that go hand in hand, so like who's actually good to help and who's a safe person to play with, and you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff.
Right. Well, I think that would be part of the ranks, and then the awards, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna really help because I don't know if you saw my tweet maybe a week ago asking, like I was saying I'm helping people in trials, and I was listing off a bunch of reasons why people don't play trials, and I probably got like 200 DMs and Discord messages like of people explaining reasons why they don't play trials. And a lot of times the number one reason that they told me is they're just afraid of being bad. Like they don't even want to try because they're afraid of being bad without ever even giving it a shot.
What'd you respond with, actually?
To those people,
Yeah.
I normally said, because a lot of people will spread like horror stories of like LFGs and how they found people to play with. And I normally respond to those people with, those do happen, as like bad things do happen in the real world, but there is like plenty of people you're going to find who are going to be great friends, who are going to help you get better. And you might have a great time playing with, even if you don't go flawless, even if you don't win, even if it's just to play for a bit.
Yeah, I agree with I agree with that actually, because like now that, well, I didn't even really consider it, but now that Miss pointed it out, like he is right. Like LFG, like there are definitely horror stories with LFG, specifically with trials that I've experienced myself. But like low key, if I didn't, then I wouldn't have met the people that pushed me to be a content creator. So you meet a lot of amazing people in the Destiny community. There are a lot of weirdos in PvP for sure, but there are a lot of weirdos in general in life. But like, I don't know. I sympathize with the feeling of like being scared to like that you're gonna be bad, but like you won't ever know unless you try, right? So, but I don't know. It feels like Bungie's cultivated this kind of like it's okay, like this kind of community where, with regards to PvP, where they have an attitude where they don't even like really want to try to get better at it. It's weird because they don't really have any reason to want to, I guess. It all kind of wraps back around to that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's also wrapping back to like the no reward system, because when there is no like pinnacle reward like cosmetics or anything, there kind of isn't anything good to talk about. So when you're hearing people talk about PvP, like if you open up Twitter, you're not going to see very many good statements about PvP or trials. So as a player who's never played them, why would you want to start doing that?
I've been playing Destiny and specifically PvP for thousands of hours now. I find my joy in it, but I completely understand. Like, it takes a little bit more effort to find my joy these days. You know?
Yeah, I mean, this brings up a really good point. Actually, I didn't even consider that. Like, because if you're a casual player and you're interested in PvP, if you go around to like different streamers' channels to like ask or get like the feel for it, like, hey, do you recommend this game? Honestly, I know I've said no to people who have asked, and I'm sure like other content creators have too. Like, no, it's not really worth it, because it's not. As a PvP content creator, like, it's just, yeah, it's not. I couldn't recommend it. It's weird.
Take a different route when it comes to like recommending PvP, right? My route is the gun feeling and the movement. I haven't been able to find anywhere else.
Exactly. That's why I still play this game, because it's so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them straight up. I'm like, there's not really anything meaningful to chase right now outside of trials, but I was like, I've played a lot of FPSs. I've been playing FPSs since Perfect Dark, like on the N64. So it's been a long time, and it's like I just have not found a game that scratches the same itch.
Absolutely. But if I guess if all you do is play PvP, it's like if that's the sole reason you boot up D2, like I don't even want to play Control right now. I've played my games like with SBMM, and it's just like it's so sweaty and so unfun and just unenjoyable. It's hard to recommend anyone like actually try to get good in it, because all I know is all it's gonna lead you to is not wanting to play the game. So like, I'd rather people be casual about it and enjoy it than like try to get good. Because you're not rewarded for it. You're punished. It sucks, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Hopefully, it'll get better over time, but we've been saying that for a long time, so.
Well, that actually... Go ahead.
Oh.
No, you're good.
I was going to say, I don't know if we're going to talk about SBMM. I imagine we're going to. But for me, one of the reason I feel like it's harder for people to get into PvP and people to come back and play PvP is because of how inconsistent it's been. Like, I feel like Destiny would have been a lot better if they either had SBMM in the game from the beginning or didn't. Because it's been over the last, 5 years of Destiny 2, it's been on sometimes, it's been off sometimes. And that's going to mess with people's, overall skill rating. And then when it's back and it's not here, you're going to be playing polar opposite games. So I can imagine coming back and being like, whoa, I don't remember it being like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And SBMM, I mean, it's kind of a dead horse at this point, but we absolutely can talk about it more. Mostly because it's loose SBMM now, and they adjusted it, last week? To looser? So
yeah, I heard that, but honestly, I feel like it somehow got worse. And I heard from some people they feel like that too. I don't know. I tried Control and I was like, sheesh, I'm about to play Team Scorched.
I played Control last week, and I'm not gonna lie, I was having a ball.
I feel the sentiment low key, because I had the same exact thought yesterday when I was looking at the directory. I'm like, damn, I really don't want to play Control. All I really have right now is Team Scorched. That's crazy. I don't even like Team Scorched.
Yeah, I mean, last week I mostly played Clash, so for it to be a week where it's Team Scorched, it really feels like, man, my only option is play one game of Control and then probably load up a different game after.
I feel that. All right, I got 2 questions that I had to scroll back to. What do you think about the Season 19 comp rework? I mean, we talked about that a little bit with what our hopes are. Do you think that anything else is going to come along with it?
I'd be surprised if it's anything more than like what they did to Gambit as far as a rework is concerned.
So just one pass on comp and nothing else.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it. I don't know if they specifically have stated if it's Lunas. I've heard around the campfire that they're bringing back Lunas. I don't know, but if they bring back Lunas, like I would love that because it's the only precision 140 in the game. That'd be sick. But I know that like at the same time, that's also kind of disappointing. That
They were
like,
talking about Luna's Hell?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Have you used it recently? Because I fucking hate it. I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't feel good because it went from a 180 to a 150 to a 140. Like I used it and it was, the recoil patterns were weird, like the bouncing was strange, the animation didn't feel right. Maybe that was just me.
No, yeah, I definitely tried it out again, to relive old times like a little while back. It definitely is not feeling as great as it did. But I mean, that's completely understandable because it used to be such a high fire rate and just hit so hard. And now obviously it doesn't have that fire rate advantage. And there's just better guns right now, I feel like.
Yeah, I put that up on Twitter, I was like, if they brought back Lunas and NF in these metas, it wouldn't be a top. It wouldn't be a top.
As it was? As a 180?
Oh, I don't know. It's a 180.
I mean, if they brought it way back to like how it originally was, post like pre-nerf and everything, I think it would be good. But if they bring it back as is now, just usable, I don't think it's gonna hold its own at all.
And with crafting and everything else that you can do, I mean, Mag Hal is cool, but I don't know. It just didn't feel
Unless
right.
you can craft it, imagine.
Oh God, what rolls would you even put on it though? Like that's. It already had what? It already had high cal.
Yeah, I'm mostly excited to craft spare rations because it's very likely it's gonna be craftable.
That'd be very cool.
How to get us all to suffer in Gambit again.
The
The farm red border spare ration drops.
Dude, I did Reckoning for days. My RNG is so bad. I did Reckoning for days, and I couldn't get it to drop. And I finally got, I couldn't get a roll I wanted. And after it, I was just like, all right, 3 out of 5, I'm getting a dire. And my first dire I got out of a comp game was the God roll.
No, yeah, definitely. Like, I did the whole Reckoner seal, unfortunately. I don't know why I did all that. But I never got a single good spare ration, so I never really got to use it. I get why people use it because the outstanding amount of base aim assist it comes with. So if you're a controller player, it just literally feels like a magnet to a fridge. But
yeah,
I never really got a great one, so didn't really experience it.
Catching up on questions, we ended up diving into a pretty hefty conversation. That was good. I liked it. Noob says, do you really think Lightfall will bring improvements to PvP, if any?
Me personally, I'm hopeful, but I don't think so.
Yeah, my expectations, I don't want to say died because it sounds dramatic, but I guess if we want to be dramatic about it, my expectations died with the season. So my whole outlook and attitude towards PvP is definitely I'm trying to be a little bit more in tune with how Bungie is wanting to go with it, because I can't, I don't know, it's very clear the direction that they're headed, and so I can either accept it or be upset about it all the time, and so I'm just trying to go with the flow. But I don't think so at all. They didn't show anything at the event for PvP, so I think that they kind of showed their hand already.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I used to go through this constant cycle of, oh, maybe this season, maybe this DLC, there's gonna be something big for PvP, because they're so secretive with stuff sometimes. And then after drop, I'm just like, whatever happens. If something good happens, I'll get excited then, but I'm not gonna bring my hopes all the way up months out. And then when it actually happens, I'm just super underwhelmed.
Yeah, I honestly low-key expect it to get worse. I think that I can see them putting in SPMM into trials. I know it's coming. I know it's gonna come once they fine-tune it enough in control. I know it's gonna be next. I don't know. We'll see. I would like to be hopeful, but it's hard to be.
We did the math on it for SPMM and trials, and I think Bungie
it'd be an anomaly. Yeah.
if you went flawless with SBMM active, you're either cheating or on Rico. Like, there's
I mean,
no other way.
do you guys remember that one weekend on Widow's Court?
Yep.
That was hard to get past 5. It was a really fun time though. I always look back to that weekend where you're only playing really good people and streamers. As man, if that was like a comp playlist with good rewards, that would have been the most fun I ever had in Destiny.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was a tough weekend. I matched a lot of Harry Potters. I'm gonna be honest. There was a lot of Harry Potters flying around the map with infinite Wardcliff. Like,
God, I try to forget about those times, man.
You know what, though?
Some unlimited chaos reaches that weekend for sure.
yeah, those times out of everything else though, those were actually, God, those were content games though. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I have more fun playing cheaters than I do playing control right now.
Back then, it was so fun trying to beat a cheater because it's like,
exactly.
damn, you're so bad. Not even a program can help you. That's tough.
Trying to snipe the Harry Potters that are just zooming around the map. Like, that's hilarious to me. I know a lot of people got mad about it, but I was rolling, man. I laughed so hard the whole time. Like, it was a good time for me. It's like, we're gonna lose anyway, so let's try some trick shots. Let's spin around. Let's try and hit them, you know? Let's send it. And I think it's part of me does miss. I don't want to say that, actually. Let me reel that back.
I don't miss it like that. I can think back on it and laugh at it because it was funny, but damn, was it like, because that's when it started out, and like, damn, that was a stressful ass time, man.
Yeah, it was. All right. So we went over that a little bit at the beginning, Keggy. I can ask him to dive a little bit more into it. Keggy says, what do you guys truly think needs to happen with the oncoming comp rework for it to be successful? We talked about that with the cosmetics, things like that. Are there anything else that you guys wanted to add to it?
Like I said, I don't think I really talked about it too much at the beginning besides the cosmetics. A good rank, like they already have like built-in ranking systems, you know, like Legend, Mythic. Definitely like something special about that. I don't know if you guys play Apex, you know, like you get to Apex Pred, you know, top 750. You get a badge, you get a weapon charm, you get a trail, and all that stuff. The trail only lasts for 1 season. Stuff like that would be really, like, that's a really good way to reward that's not like super over top. It's not like you're giving the top 750 players a weapon that nobody has, but it's also going to make them feel really special and make other people want to grind for that and just incentivize the comp game mode.
Huh. I think they're still going to call it survival, though.
I mean, I hope they add more. I really enjoyed Lockdown back in Trials of the Nine when it was like a lockdown weekend. Like, that was pretty fun, you know, S&D.
Lockdown or Countdown?
You said what?
Lockdown or Countdown?
Wait, what was it called? It was Countdown? Was Countdown the
Countdown.
one with the bombs?
Yeah, it was Countdown.
Yeah, Countdown. Was
Countdown
there a mode
was
called
fun.
Lockdown?
No, I think Lockdown was D1.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, I think Lockdown was D1. God, did they have Countdown when you joined in Shadowkeep, or was that already gone?
I think they might have had Countdown. I vaguely remember a game mode with bombs.
And Shadowkeep? No, that was long gone, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Pretty
I don't remember
sure.
a whole lot of that. That was back when I was like, I was bad, really bad. So
Yeah, it was gone. That's too bad. I'm strange in the fact that I enjoyed Countdown. I did. But
Oh, same.
there is something that I would like to see improved on it if they bring it back. And that's different bomb placement locations. Because back then it was like the bombs were heavily favored to one side.
Oh, yeah. You remember Midtown?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, it'd be outside and it'd be like, oh, we got it. Just plant it and hold the angles. Oh.
Exactly. Well, Eternity wasn't much better. Eternity, the one
Eternity
bomb
was the
inside
worst.
in the far
You could
corner.
literally- Yep. And you could go sit in the very edge of the map and watch it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. If they
I
figured
haven't
out a
really-
way to put it.
I haven't really given much thought into comp because like our foundation like the rest of PvP is so like fucked. No, like it's just I haven't even considered like I haven't even thought that far ahead, man. When our foundation is like already this rocky.
Well, it's your
Have you
chance
guys ever
to
played?
dig into it.
Have you guys ever played Apex or Valorant?
I
Yeah.
have played Apex. I got into Valorant enough to do the tutorial, and then I lost all interest. I don't know why. Just
Well, so for
gone.
me, like when I play Apex, I don't know. I wasn't ever really that high ranked, like diamond area, and for me, it would like you. There it shows a champion squad at the beginning of the game, and if they're Predator, which is top 750, it would like show their number and everything. Like, oh, this guy's Predator top 20. It's gonna be like a really fun match. I think stuff like that would be really good. You know, like you load into comp, you see the other guy, he's like, this guy's top 200. You know, it's gonna be a really good game. Something like that.
Oh yeah,
would,
displaying those stats in game without having to go to like an
yeah, like
external
you know,
third party
like
website.
how you see
That would
your
do.
triumph score or something, like a leaderboard. I don't know.
I
Just something like
fucking-
that is so much.
It's
I
things
hate.
to flex.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I hate the fact that I have to go to a third party site to look at things. That drives me insane. That since the beginning, it's frustrated me to no end that we don't have a way to view it in game.
Yep.
Straight up, like I can't. Why do I have to have a third window open to figure out what the hell is going on, or what we're going
Yeah.
against, or anything like that? You know?
I mean, like for me, even as far as Destiny 1, I always wondered why there's not like I know we have like in Destiny 2 we have the medals. We can see what medals we've earned and we can see how many gold medals we've earned. But I've always wondered why there's not like a barracks. You know, like see your highest kill game in game, you know, see how many kills you have overall, just like a stats page just for that, you know. See what rank you ended last season and just statistics, because if you can see that in game, people have much more of a reason to be like, yo, let me try and get this up to this, or try and get this many of this. It's more of an incentive.
Exactly, and if the API is already tracking it anyways, like if it's already being tracked, like
Yeah,
like,
I mean they're
you can already
tracking
put up on
everything
third parties,
down
so,
to
like,
literally anything. It literally could just take that, paste it onto the screen, make a page.
put it on an emblem.
I mean, I know
even,
it's
like,
harder
you know
than
what I mean?
that, but it's just stuff like that. I remember like playing Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, and after like playing all day, I'd go check my stats page and be like, oh, did I go up? Did this happen? That's when I cared a little bit more, but still, it was a cool thing to look at every now and then.
Yeah, I agree. It's gamers love to flex things. That's that's the end of it. Gamers love to have something they can wear or something they can show off to say, "Look, I accomplished this." I absolutely agree with you both. I think if you had like special emblems for going, we'll use Apex, right? If you go Pred,
Yep.
if you had a special emblem for going Pred, but in Destiny, like that'd be huge, huge.
Yeah, and they already have all like the rank names. How like they could just add a picture for every single one of them, and if you're in comp, slap it on the emblem or like next to your name or something, just a little diamond or a little platinum, something like that.
Yeah,
And I think even more so, like as much as like you said, it's a cool flex, but it's also cool both ways. Because imagine you see someone like, oh, they're top 10, and then like the feeling you're gonna get when you beat that person, because they're so much statistically higher than you, but you came out on top anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. God, I hope that comes in 19. That'd be sick. That'd be so sick. Let me see.
Yeah.
So
I
we got a
agree.
question from. Let me scroll back to make sure. Hold up. I had a question from Lycan. Where'd it go? All right. Would you be interested in a subclass set that offers very high utility in exchange for considerably lower damage?
Well, I think I understand what you're saying, kind of. I always like, if you go back to like Call of Duty, there was always like, in some games there was kill streaks, but then there was specialist, you know? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like instead of having a
he
super,
says-
you're gonna have something that's like gradually boosts your stats rather than having you might even lose your whole super type thing, but you have, better everything else.
He's saying basically it would be based on a positioning gap and outthinking your opponents instead of just who can outgun faster.
Wait, a subclass?
Yeah, if it was a subclass that, like, I guess that's kind of like Invis, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call Invis like outplaying someone. In my opinion, like outplaying someone's like a good grenade, a good stun, something like that.
Yeah,
Going
good
Invis,
sticky placement.
Going Invis is kind of just everyone's gonna use it because it's what's good, but it's not as fun as you know, when you throw a perfect nade or you put a perfect smoke down and someone walks into it, or your proximity knife. I feel like invis is kind of the no fun version, but the you're gonna win with it version.
I agree with that. Martin says, I mean, I already know the answer to this one, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Do you think the ability spam should be tuned down in PvP?
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. It should be like the cooldowns on things should be like really high because they're really like if they want to keep things like this strong. I don't know. Destiny's not competitive. I don't know. It's hard.
Well, didn't they came out and said, because they said they're a focus on gunplay that one season, and then literally the next season after that, they said they want it to be 60-40.
Yep.
Which, I mean, I feel like it should be like 80-20, maybe even 90-10.
I had a thought
That's just
behind
me.
that. I have been asking for this for a while, for a couple seasons now. If there was a game mode like Reverse Mayhem, right? Super slow charging abilities, purely gunplay. Would you play that mode?
I mean, I honestly thought for a second that's kind of what Eruption was going to be, but then it ended up just being ability spam as well, so it was kind of disappointing in that
Right.
much. But yeah, I mean, like Call of Duty, when they started adding jetpacks, they added a mode called like Boots on the Ground, where there wasn't any jetpacks, no movement, and it was just old school Call of Duty. I
Yep.
feel like I played that a lot, and I feel like people have been asking for a mode like that since Destiny 1. Just like, there's Mayhem, like you said, a complete opposite. No abilities, maybe just your jump. So you're not just only sprinting and hopping around. But I feel like that would definitely get a lot of people playing.
I don't know. I think so. My suggestion was class abilities are still allowed, just tune back. And then I even built it onto it further and said, what if it built by getting kills?
Yeah, so like Eruption, but like a lot less rewarding per kill. Not like
Yeah,
one
not
kill,
as
two grenades.
aggressive. Right.
Yeah.
Not as aggressive where you erupt and you have your super 5 times in a game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could be very good, as well as, kind of what I was saying as well, like with no abilities at all, because that could just be fun.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think that could be a lot.
I always thought like instead of like a weekly mode, because like some weeks, like I like playing Clash a lot. I play Clash a ton when it's here. I wish there was just like a fiesta, like all the modes, so you don't have to wait for, like I play Clash and it's like, okay, well, let me wait 5 weeks for Clash to be back. I wish there was like a mode that had all of them and it's like, okay, I got Mayhem, whatever, I'll play this, maybe I'll get Clash next game. Something like that.
If we took that further and gave Clash its own playlist, on the directory, its own playlist, permanent, with no SPM.
And get rid of Rumble?
I wouldn't even say get rid of Rumble, just have Clash, Control, and that would be like your steps.
The reason I don't think they would do that is because they did that in Destiny 1, and then they started doing it with every mode, and then there was a big update where they're like, we don't want to split the player base a ton. Because I don't know if you played Destiny 1, at some point you'd open the directory and there was 12 modes to play.
Right. That's why I'm saying just a Clash and a Control, right?
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I mean, how many people are playing Elim during the week anyways?
Exactly.
I honestly feel like I've only ever met one person who plays Elim.
I have a buddy that plays nothing but Elim.
Yeah, same. And he's the only person. I used to play with them. That's all they play. They would play that all week, and then Trials out, play Trials, and then Elim the rest of the week.
Yeah, I mean that's my buddy, and brought him through his first lighthouse ever last weekend, which was a ton of fun. That was tough.
He got his beautiful sidearm, huh?
Yeah, he got his beautiful sidearm. He's just started like last season.
Oh, playing the game at all?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the wanting to play Elim. I've heard a lot of people say Elim is their favorite mode. They just don't want to play it because SBMM. But it's the most I feel like it's one of the, besides Control, it's the most understandable mode. It's pretty much search and destroy without the bombs. You die, you can get revived.
Yep.
Yeah.
Goth, what do you got to add to it?
Man, I don't know. Elim is sick. I mean, I would like just some sort of playlist like how Control used to be, where I can just kind of like try different things and like relax and like not have to sweat the whole time, because that's not fun all the time.
Yeah, I think it means something like quick play.
Yeah, so I could try things out and like, cause they're like that's the joy of Destiny, right? Is there's so many little secret off meta weapons that no one's even considered or builds and things you could try to see if they're good, but it's really hard to try things and perform well, and have I don't know.
That's
I
kind
would
of
like
why I
quick play
think.
back.
That's kind of why I was
No, I
asking
agree.
for like a Clash playlist. You know, Clash was with
Yeah.
pure, not with the lobby balancing that they had, but pure connection based matchmaking. Right.
Yeah.
And it would be Clash only. So like, I had an aha moment because everybody freaked out about the SBMM, and there was a lot of rage, and I was like, why did they add it back? And then it hit me. There was a TWAB a while ago saying that control was to be the entry point to PvP. And I thought about it for a second and I went, wait a minute. If that's the entry point, new players aren't going to feel SBMM. They're not going to feel the levers. They're not going to feel the SBMM. So why not give the new players control and point that as like the big thing to enter into PvP, make Clash a side node for like the next step up. It would be like Clash, Elim, Rumble, right? And then you have your hard modes of whatever the 19 rework is and Trials. And that would be like your steps of progress, right?
Yeah, I get that, but it also feels kind of weird because I feel like games traditionally have like Fortnite and other games have a really good way of introducing new players, whereas your first X amount of games, like in Fortnite, if you make a new account right now, your first 10 games are going to be pretty much bots.
Yep.
They're not going to be. I feel like there should be something in place like that, like a mode only people can play for their first couple games, and then once they're out of there, they understand what's going on. They can go play with everybody else.
Yeah, and that kind of circumvents the whole need for any sort of SPM in the first place.
Exactly.
In a casual playlist, it's
Yeah, I would love to see an AI lobby or a bot lobby.
Yeah, we're just some sort of introductory Crucible quest, just something to get to point new play. But I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of issues around with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like PvP doesn't exist. Like they don't show it in trailers for like new DLCs anymore. It's just that I don't know when's the last time there's been PvP in a trailer.
We did have the giant PvP TWAB recently.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a good one though.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good stuff in that one.
I mean, but like I'm thinking like back to like Halo, when a new Halo game would come out, same studio, Bungie. I know it's not the same people like everyone seemed to think sometimes, but the trailers I feel like it'd be like 50% campaign and then 50% multiplayer, build some hype around the multiplayer. But nowadays, like I feel like the Destiny 2 trailers and stuff are just like 97% PvE, and then maybe they'll show someone shooting someone else in Crucible.
Yeah, he's right. I haven't seen anything in PvP wise in the marketing for a while, but I don't know. We'll see with next season. Maybe next season,
Maybe.
I've been saying that this whole time, so who knows, man.
Yeah, maybe.
Get our hopes up.
Nice. Yeah, I've tried to curb my enthusiasm quite a bit, over the seasons. I've been here since the D1 alpha test. Let me take it back to the roots real quick. What is that? 2013? 2012? Or no, it's 2014 was the D1 alpha. That's fucking wild. And I think every season I get my hopes up and I get super excited. I have a good feeling about what's coming up. And I obviously can't get too much further into that, but I have a good feeling. I do.
I just really hope that there's one day when I come on this PvP podcast, they talk really positive and hopeful and happy about it. But it's just like it's in such a low point right now that it's like hard to feign enthusiasm for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm really hopeful. We'll see. But yeah. That's my wish.
I definitely have some high hopes.
Did you guys ask me anything? I went AFK for a sec.
No, we were just talking about hopes and trying not to get it too high, but you know, the Bungie way is getting us all super excited. So, and I said I have some good hopes, but I can't. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I don't really, hype myself up anymore. I used to like have all these grand ambitions for the game, but you kind of start to realize like not everything you want's gonna happen, and maybe even nothing you want's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I just, whatever happens, I learn to enjoy it either way. Well, maybe not enjoy it. I would say deal with it.
Deal with it,
yeah.
Right? Deal with it is a point. All right, chat, if you have any more questions, please feel free to type them. We are at our hour mark, which means we are going to jump into the Scrim portion of the Scrim school. Weird in the name, right? Strange. Rules are in the Discord. Rules are simple. Basically, the way it works out is you got to be in the Discord, you jump in the VC, you get to play with the guest of the week, and ask them any questions about lanes, movement, things like that, get a chance to learn, and we run scrims. The thing I didn't tell you to is you're playing against each other.
Okay.
Fun.
Which makes it more fun. Why won't Goth marry me? That is a valid question. How dare you, Goth?
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it'll be a good time. We're gonna we'll pull in people from chat, and we'll run one game, and then the instructors flip, so you get a chance to play with both of them, run it back, and then we'll pull in the next round. And if there's nobody else that wants to jump in, we will, I don't know, keep going. Nothing super crazy. I know there's a lot of people that tune out and try and hop in and play once it's up and going. So put me in, coach. Yeah, see, people are already excited. All right, let's switch over. And let's get it popping. If you guys want to go use the restroom or anything else like that, go nuts.
Where the scrim rules at, big man? I just
They
gotta make
are
sure.
the ScrimCast rules in the Discord. It has its own channel.
Discord.
It's pretty light. So the Scrim rules are pretty light. Before I switch over, it's basically like a lot of what you're going to run into in sixes and trials without the over the top stuff, right?
Oh, there's no cheating. Darn it.
It's like the no bubble, no well, no triple pulses, no DMT or last word, things like that. But other than that, I mean, we do allow a pulse rifle.
Dang, we can use Dune Marchers?
Yep, you can use Doonies.
Let's go.
Yeah, you can use Doonies. I think there's only a couple. It's like Antaeus is banned, things like that. All subclasses are basically open as well.
I'm gonna keep it a $150. I'm not as good as Miz, but you know what? GG's, we'll try.
We're gonna have fun with it. That's the point. So it's not super sweaty unless just the sweat people jump in. Otherwise, it's like a chance to slow down, talk, play, run scrims, teach.
I got you.
All right, let's go to be right back.